11:30 in the morning. Jan and Dean were playing DeadMansCurve on the radio. There had been a fine drizzle of rain all morning long. Everything was wet. I was driving down into Windermere. I was taking my time. I wasn't in any rush. I was looking for the beach. On my way out, I was going to have a swim. I first knew I was in trouble. The road dipped right. I turned the steering wheel, but nothing happened. I went straight through. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guest. I was driving a Pepsi truck. I was working for a Pepsi franchise in Aurelia. I was supposed to be starting university in the fall. Our trucks weren't low like Coke trucks. Our trucks, the back doors were 4 feet off the ground. You pushed the door up, you climbed up, and you got your load. We weren't sitting behind the engine. I was sitting on top of the engine. Do you want to know what you kids are doing in the back seat of your car on the highway on the weekend? So there I was, driving down the road, downshifting, hitting the brake, trying to slow down. Nothing happened. I downshifted, I was in low gear. Nothing happened. And then it got worse. I started going down a hill. Halfway down the hill, it was one of those warning signs. The road was going to turn right. And there was a picture of a truck tipping. I didn't want to do that. I was pumping the brake. I was steering the wheel, trying to get on the shoulder, trying to get traction. Nothing worked. Pumping the brake, hitting the shoulder. Nothing worked. Finally, in desperation, when I hit that sign, there was only one thing to do. I pulled the air horn 3 times, slammed on the brake. The back brakes screamed, locked, and I burned rubber as I was now sliding down the rest of the hill, out of control. At the bottom of the hill, I could see there were 3 houses. Nothing was coming. I wasn't going to hit somebody. But I wasn't worried about that. You know those corners out in the country where you see the wooden post with the wire going behind it? I was sliding right for it, out of control, without any way of stopping. And nobody in a red cape was going to come fly down and grab the back of the truck. Somehow I went right between 2 of those wooden posts. I put my hand on the doorknob. I was going to jump. I looked down. All I saw were big, huge boulders, you know, the kind that mash every bone in your body when you hit them. And then I got real scared. I realized the gas tank was between me and those rocks. I put my hands back on the steering wheel. I looked straight ahead. I wondered if this was going to hurt. I wondered if my mother was going to be upset. I wondered if God took you in bits and pieces. And then I waited for my life to flash before my eyes. And I think I said, oh, number sign, number sign, number sign, number sign. First, there was a loud bang. Then I was tossed like a piece of paper. And then there was nothing, just complete silence. And a demonstration of divine, perfect parallel parking. The slack had gone out of the cable, and it acted like a slingshot and snapped the front of the truck around, so I was back on the road on the shoulder. I climbed out of the truck, shaken and stirred like a James Bond routine. I walked around to the front. There was a dent from the cable. 2 ladies ran across from the first house. One they called the OPP. 3 guys walked across the grass from the first house. One guy asked me if I wanted a drink. Don't do that. Not till the cops get there. I found out that an oil truck had lost its load on that hill, so I really didn't have a chance. The OPP came, and he took my statement. And then he said, wait here, and he walked up the road. He came back 20 or 30 minutes later, and he told me I could go. My story checked out. He could see my tire tracks and my skid marks all the way up the hill. And you could tell that it was all slick just from rubbing his foot back and forth. on the pavement. I got in the truck and I drove down into Windermere. I got out of the truck and the owner was out at the trash can. He asked me if I was having a good day so far. And then his wife ran out. She threw me in this bear hug. Did I want a coffee? Did I want tea? Did I want a beer? Did I want water? Did I want to lie down? I stared at him. I stared at her husband. I put my hands up. And I gave him my, hey, she's married, look. He told her, hey, I think you better let go of him. He's turning blue. He was going to pass out. After that, I did my business and I drove back to Aurelia. Monday morning, the plant manager walked by with me. He said, don't tell me you weren't speeding. I'll tell you what I told him. If I had been speeding that day, I wouldn't be standing here today. Slow down. Don't rush into things. It may just save your life.